Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Adventure Comics 133, Superboy's Report Card. This is actually the second time I'm recording this video, as I recorded it Monday, but there were some sound issues, so we're redoing this video. So let's see how concise I can be on this story. What is a fun idea is ruined by the general problems with Superboy, which is funny because it's like a be careful what you wish for problem with Superboy, as it's dealing with a lot of things I've suggested to fix problems I have with like the main Superman books, but it's not working here in Superboy. And there's a lot of reasons for that, because like Superboy works brief instead of longer. And well, things I asked for in Superman that would actually help Superman, which is built to be a little bit longer, does not work here. It just continues to add to the length problem of these comics. They don't have enough plot to go on for at least 10 pages, I'll say that much. Here we have a really great idea for an antagonist for a Superboy comic, and that is a truant officer. You see, Smallville, or whatever the hell we are, we're actually getting Smallville where I'm currently reading the Superboy comics, so far not really referred to Smallville all that much, and not very clearly defined as a small town or even city at times. Doesn't have any truant kids, so he's about to lose his job unless he can find some truant kids. And that's when he finds Superboy out and about saving the day while he's supposed to be in class because, well, super fast, remember? I mean, it's less of a problem for him than, say, Peter Parker when he would have to leave school and go be a superhero, because he's going to miss the whole class. Superboy can knock out a villain in the time it would take him to go to the bathroom. So instead of just running away from the truant officer when he grabs him, it's Superboy. I mean, it's not much of a critique to say that he's going to, like, follow the rules because he's Superboy. Of course he is. So the only way Superboy can see of getting out of having to be sent to school without revealing his secret identity involves him having to actually graduate. So we have something like a Billy Madison sort of ending, the Adam Sandler movie where he has to prove he can graduate through all of school and has like a huge contest at the end. So he's going to prove his mastery in the main courses he needs to take for like high school, getting a grade in them, and then essentially graduating. There is no graduation scene. And no language requirement, surprisingly. I'm not sure if that's like a nationalized curriculum. My school demanded that you needed to take at least 2 years of a language to graduate. But it's not here, as it's not one of the things listed. So this comic actually spends half the comic building up the whole truant officer thing and what he's going to have to do to graduate and get out of this problem. Well, not have to go to school. Not exactly graduate, but not have to go to school because he's shown mastery of it. And in like other Superman stories where I say like the villain or the threat, the stakes should be like half of the comic. So if the villain isn't particularly interesting, we have built up how villainous he is, that it's sort of fun when Superman just breezes through him. And though we've built this up, he's not much of like a threat, and it's not much of like a story that needs to be built up all that much. So instead it feels like we're just spinning our wheels till we get to the second half of the story, where a different problem pokes its ugly head, as it's Superboy kind of just doing different feats to essentially impress us and get the A in whatever course he's trying to prove. But once again, which I've been bringing up, the problem is it's not depicted particularly all that exciting. He does most of this stuff in like 3 to 4 panels. Like, if I were to describe him like picking up a rock that he's taken from the sea floor and a volcano, you would probably picture something way more exciting than 4 panels of him just like holding a rock and there's a volcano in the background and him just standing around with it. It's not particularly an applause-worthy moment as they seem to think it is. So it's just him switching between all that. The one scene that they do actually give time to depicting and is a little more interesting than the rest of it is him making his own like wings for, honestly, can't remember what class he's doing that for. It's not, I don't think it's science. He is taking astronomy, but that's not it. Where he jumps off a cliff with his wings, which do not work. But there was a lot of like sheep shearing in that part. In fact, I thought it was going to be some sort of like farm studies, 4-H or something. I know that's not a class, but like some sort of farm-based class. it would kind of make sense for where he is in the time, but no. He's doing this to make wings to try to show he can fly, which fails, but somehow he still gets an A in the class. You know what? Talking about this, we're showing another problem is I don't think what they shows much of a mastery or competency in the class to get the straight A's he ends up getting. Like, even a test would have been somewhat better and would have been proof he could have learned. Like, we've seen him read through a whole library of books, at least Superman has. I feel like he read a whole bunch of doctor books to help perform a surgery once as Superboy, but there has been a lot of other accomplishments. But that's impressive, depending on how we depict it. It's impressive on its own, but depending on how we depict it, it's way more exciting. Or we can sort of do a panel of him, like, looking nervous, maybe forgetting something, but no, we kind of just depict him like, okay, you need to do something. Okay, I've done it. Oh, A. And you can see how that's not that particularly impressive or fun. Like, you can even have him be a little smug about it, though that's not very Superboy. But you can have some sort of, like, celebratory, or him even thinking about the problem. Superman thinks. He can think quickly, but he should think. Just add something to it so it doesn't just feel like you can skip these without really losing anything. The truant officer is then set up as to become a private detective and possibly a foil later, but he hasn't really shown up in anything unless he's like a reference to a character who shows up in Superman. But he's not like the Scotland Yard reporter Hawkins who tries to prove Clark Kent is Superman like twice. So does it really matter? Okay, that is it from Adventure Comics 133, Superboy's report card. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Friday is Bat Friday, where I cover Batman story in the Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the boy of tomorrow? I guess, arguably, Clark Kent has graduated from whatever level of school he is currently in. Possibly high school? Honestly, depends on the depiction of the artist. Okay, have a great day.